We defend our territory. This is our obligation, our duty, sacred duty as Venezuelans, to exercise our right to legitimate defense, to self-defense. This is the Charter.
Venezuela on Thursday complained to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres about a U.S. naval buildup in the southern Caribbean and nearby waters, said Venezuela's UN Ambassador Samuel Moncada. He said that Venezuela does not constitute a threat to anyone, and the real threat in the region is the presence of U.S. military and nuclear weapons in the Caribbean.
The Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela addresses the international public and the international media to inform that, within the framework of a bilateral meeting held this afternoon, a letter has been delivered to the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, in which the most recent and dangerous developments in the policy of ongoing harassment by the government of the United States of America against our country are denounced. These U.S. military operations also constitute a flagrant violation of the Charter of the United Nations, in particular Article 2.1, regarding the sovereign equality of states, Article 2.3 of the Charter, concerning the peaceful settlement of disputes, Article 2.4, relating to the prohibition of the threat or use of force, and Article 2.7, concerning the principle of non-intervention in the internal affairs of states. It once again urges the Secretary General of the United Nations to actively defend, within the scope of his powers and responsibilities, the fundamental values and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, and emphatically calls on the government of the United States of America to put an end, once and for all, to its hostile actions and threats, and to respect the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and political independence of Venezuela. Venezuela, true to the principles of its Bolivarian diplomacy of peace, reaffirms that it poses no threat to anyone. The real threat to the stability of the region is the presence of U.S. military forces and nuclear weapons in the Caribbean.
U.S. officials said the naval buildup aims to address threats from Latin American drug cartels.
The military deployment that President Trump has sent to the Caribbean Sea close to the shores with Venezuela is massive. It's much more that is needed to simply counter narcotics operations. Is President Trump considering launching military strikes to military installments or facilities in Venezuelan soil?
I won't get ahead of the president with respect to any military action or questions about that ever. But what I will tell you is that many Caribbean nations and many nations in the region have applauded the administration's counter-drug operations and efforts, and the president is prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. And as I've said from this podium before, the Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. Maduro is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this drug cartel. He has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into our country, and it is the utmost responsibility of this president and this administration to prevent the illicit flow of drugs into our country and to protect citizens from those deadly poisons.